not sure about this angle. I know it's kind of a weird one. I wanted to be in the sun, so I am sitting on the floor. Thank you again for just tuning in. Really, really am appreciative of my previous video, the one that when I was outside. So I see my people's tuning in. I wanted to discuss loving yourself, even through to keep the momentum of loving yourself. Sometimes our true essence is forgotten. I'm just here to remind us of our true essence, of the wisdom of love. And it doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to be completely gone. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget and we listen to the ego, and it tells us otherwise. It tells us that we're not lovable. It tells us that there's something in us that makes us not enough. However, these are all false, and I have some ways that we can help return back to the truth of who we are, of our true essence. I have one way. It's finding pockets of grounding within yourself. So that could look like taking a walk. That could look like creating. I'm making this video. I didn't plan it out much. But it could look like having resources that helps us return to our body, to our sense of self. Because sometimes when we continue to listen to the mind a little too much, then we start to believe the lies that it tells us. We start to believe that that is the truth. However, when we can find ways to quiet the mind, the meditation, the yoga, through an act of stillness, then we can quiet down the mind a little bit more to hear the truth come within us. Even feeling support from other people, friends, family, pets, the sun, trees, nature can help us return back to our true state. Another way is to see the layer behind our behaviors and actions and words, and show compassion to yourself that is wounded and just needs a little love. So when we behave maybe in a way that doesn't make us so proud of ourselves, and when we behave in a way that can sometimes lead to shame, then I don't think it's very helpful for us to move through more love. It counteracts that, and we're back to our mind that is telling us that we're not good enough. So just kind of peel the layer back to the actions and the words. When I say peel back the layer, just be curious as to where this is coming from. Where are these actions coming from? Where are these thoughts that are bringing about this action? What are the thoughts that I'm having right now? And is this true? Do I want to believe in this? And if it's not, then how can I believe differently? What's a different thought that best serves me? Another one you can do is recognize that what people do to you is usually stemming from their own shadow. You may not know why, but it is our job to depersonalize it. Sometimes people do things that maybe leaves us kind of perplexed. We may not know why they did it, or we may not fully understand their own inner workings of their mind. It could be quite easy for the mind to automatically separate the truth, the inherent truth, and to believe in the false. Sometimes our mind goes straight to pointing the finger at us and asking ourselves, how could this have been differently? People's behavior is confusing. It really is. I still don't quite understand it sometimes. Maybe I just don't understand myself too. Like, people's personality is what I mean. It's really not about us. It's usually about what the other person did or what's going on with them. And it could leave us wanting answers, wanting some type of logic to justify the actions. But sometimes we are meant to just make peace with even the confusion, even not knowing every single detail, or not really having a reason why, not being received more information, just that the outcome of someone's behavior and not receiving all the answers and the confusion. We are meant to just make peace with the confusion too, even though I know it's not easy. I know it's not, because you're just left with why. And so the next one is making peace with letting go, without claiming all of your desires as your own. It allows us to release attachment to the outcome, which can play a role. It can be almost a linked to what I just previously said about separating our own sense of self or our own true essence from someone's behavior to us. So not looking at someone's behavior as any indication of who we truly are. Love. So if someone's behaving not out of love, maybe out of fear, to not take personally as to our own truth, because that's their own dharma, or that's their own karma, sorry. And releasing people, releasing experiences, releasing the future, releasing fantasies, releasing and letting go of what could have been, releasing objects, releasing. We're just called to keep releasing, letting go so many times in our lives. And I'm in the process of letting go. And sometimes I was talking to the divine spirit, and I was like, maybe I don't know who's gonna walk with me on this earth, and for however long. I just don't know. I don't have control or a say as to who's meant to come to me. To a certain extent, I know that. But ultimately, my path is carved out by the divine. God knows where I'm going. God knows who's coming along on this journey. And so, as I was thinking about this today, I thought to myself, well, I guess I'm back to just me again. The quietness, the solitude, which I've grown accustomed to all my life because it's just what I've known, you know. And when you are accustomed to that, then it may be easier to get back to it. I mean, it's been all your life. I mean, you know, if it's been all your life, the feeling of the solo passenger of your life, then it's like, oh, we're back to this again. And I think if we're not willing to let go and release someone the first time, we're given more and more opportunities for letting go of this person. And if something or someone you're meant to let go of, they don't let go of, but then there's more opportunities. Just see that as more chances given by the universe to let this person go, let this object, thing go, experience. Just if it happens, keeps happening, then I think that's the answer. So yeah, it's like you were just back to yourself again, and being okay with that too. The continuing loving yourself is an act of being okay with just you on this path, on this journey of yours. Being okay with it. Like, oh, it's like your best buddy or best animal by your side. It's like your best companion. So here I am again, walking this path. Here I am. It's just me. Let's go. Let's just walk together. And that's me telling myself that. Let's continue to walk together. Because, and maybe this is because I've been just one passenger for all my life. I have an inkling that I'm actually meant to do this in this lifetime, to walk this path alone, and not in a pitiful way, but it's just accepting my destiny, really, accepting my path. And if I'm wrong about that, then it will just happen later in life where there's a companion by my side. But I think most of my life really is just, I'm meant to do this alone, besides friends and family. But otherwise, I think I'm meant to journey alone. I've always wanted to, and I always felt like my most natural state of being is exploring out by myself in the woods, completely, just me and the trees and the rivers, the quietness, the emptiness is embraced, the emptiness of the space around me, I guess. And so I think a lot of us who've been on this journey alone, not only do you get acclimated to it, but you also are seeing this as part of your dharma, part of your purpose is to walk just with yourself. And some of us are meant to do that in this lifetime, and I may be one of them. So continuing the loving yourself is continuing to be by yourself, continuing to be okay with that. And maybe I have one last note on letting go and releasing. I recognize, I have an opportunity to recognize any attachments I hold. And I can recognize that I'm meant to just continue to walk with the self, continue to walk with God. And I can see this as a way to just recognize that I only have so much to say. Like, oh, this person is not meant for me to walk down this path with, I guess. Settling into that decision, that knowing. Like, oh, I'm actually meant to continue walking in this. It's almost like you're diverging your path and you see two ways to go down. One way to go down the familiar way that you've been making, the choices you're making, and the other way is different. The other path is different. It's on your own. It's like, oh, I see it as a coming to a stop between a crossroads and looking at the other person and saying, oh, well, thank you for walking me this far. And I am grateful that I got to experience this short walk trail with you. Now, as I go on to my own path and as you go on to yours, I honor you and your journey, and may God and may the divine be always with you, supporting you, protecting you. May you be guided throughout your path, and I wish for the same for myself. Thank you again. Just showing gratitude for that season, that chapter of your life. Not holding on too much to this other happening on your path. Another thing is to continue the love within yourself. Is to celebrate even small things you do. Celebrate just your existence. It's like, oh, look at me being that particular eater that wants to eat certain thing. Oh, look at me feeling so in the need to clean again, just to clean. Or like just all these little things about you. Look at me, just, I don't know what people do, but just small things you do that makes you like kind of like giggle or laugh with yourself, like, or even how extra you can be, or how loud you can be, how goofy you can be. Oh, look at that. If you wake up a little bit earlier the day, or do something that feels good within yourself, you can celebrate that, or just celebrate just your existence, your way of expressing yourself. So that way we can just always remember to show appreciation for ourselves. So those are just my little ways. Never abandon yourself never go so far to abandon yourself, because then that separation between what's real and what's not becomes more and more distant. It becomes more blurred, and you're left with what's not real, what's false. So, yeah, I hope this helps in any way. I hope you can remember what's real for you, what's true for you, how you want to walk on this path, how you want to continue on with yourself, what feels right to you. Just listen to that, what feels right. And I think as long as you listen to your heart, to what your heart is saying, even if it's not easy, doesn't mean it's not right. Even the letting go and releasing, it doesn't feel like I want to do. The mind doesn't want to, but the heart needs to. The soul needs to, in order to keep evolving, to continue its journey. If you have so much love to offer to the world and for someone else, then maybe God and Spirit has someone else for you that can actually be deserving of the love you can give to someone else. So just always have that different perspective to help shift you into a different choice that your heart is calling you to make. So perspective and the way you're looking at a situation is very important, I think, too, to help us navigate releasing and letting go. Thank you, God.